Hey there, it is Rachel, and in my most recent podcast episode, I talked about what to do if you are raising a child who tends to be self-centered, the child who thinks that things need to go their way, and they don't really seem to care about what other people want or what other people need. So I want to explain what's going on, but I'm actually going to put it in terms that you might be able to relate to. Because here's the thing, even as adults, we tend to act self-centered sometimes too, because whenever any human being has an agenda, has something that we want to achieve, or some goal, we become focused on that goal, and sometimes if someone's trying to derail us, we don't care about what's going on for them. So let me give you an example. Let's say you are running into the store. You have 4 or 5 things that you want to buy. You want to get in and out because you have other things to do. You bring your child with you, but while you're there trying to get in and out, your child is saying, hey, let's look at that. Let's do that. Can I have this? They are distracting you from your goal. Now, in that moment, you're not going to care about what's going on for them. You have a goal, and what you are going to do is insist to them that your goal is met. You're going to say, no, I told you we just have to get in and out of the store. I don't care that you want that thing. I have told you this is what needs to happen. We all become, quote unquote, self-centered when we have something in mind. We imagine the way things are going to go. So this happens for your child as well. So let's say you are in the car and you're saying to your kids, okay, let's choose an audiobook for us all to listen to. Well, if you have a child, especially a child with big emotions, they're going to insist that everybody has to listen to their audiobook. And the reason they're so insistent is because they have in their mind that if they don't get to listen to it, it's going to be very uncomfortable. And so they insist that what everyone else wants doesn't matter because they, in their mind, are imagining, well, if I listen to my brother or sister's audiobook, I'm going to hate it. I'm going to be bored. I don't really want to do that. And they're so focused on getting what they want that they don't care what anybody else needs in that moment. And this can be, like I said, particularly true with children with big emotions because they do feel things very strongly. And they're imagining their discomfort. They're focused on their own goal to avoid that discomfort. So what do we do about this? What we ultimately want to do about this is just recognize that in that moment your child is struggling. And we don't want to give in, but we also don't want to get sucked in. So we're not going to say, okay, fine, we'll give in to you. But we're also not going to get sucked in that moment and get really upset and say, you're being so self-centered, I can't believe you. That's what we normally do, and that's what I call Band-Aid parenting. We usually tell them all of the reasons that they're wrong, but because they're already in this place of discomfort, all that's going to do is make things worse. So in that moment, you might say, no, you know what? We are going to listen to the audiobook that your brother or sister wanted. They're going to get more upset, but what happens is, as they get upset, they're releasing all of that uncomfortable energy, and eventually their upset will end. That's what I talk about, traveling that yuck curve. Their upset will end. And then they will realize they're not always going to get their way, but they will have released all of these uncomfortable feelings that they had inside. So your goal in that moment, at least, is not to give in, but also not to get sucked in. Now, ultimately, we want to teach them better coping skills, but in that moment, they can't learn. You just want to remember, don't give in, don't get sucked in. Now, if you want to hear a little bit more about children who are selfish, I encourage you to listen to my latest podcast episode. You can find that at rachel-bailey.com/202. And I'll be back again soon with more tips for you. See you again soon.